comfortable seat. And settle in to being here, present with your breath. Close your eyes. Take 10 slow, deep breaths through your nose. Please bring your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your belly. Welcome to our yoga. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Patricia Becker. I'm so happy you're here. Please open your eyes and open your arms. Stretch your arms out, palms up. Lift up to your heart. Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Lift up to the back of your body. Lift up to the front of your body. Feel your sit bones down on the earth and then reach up even higher. Hook your thumbs together and stretch as tall as you can. And right now, this class, we are going to focus on our hips and hamstrings. Exhale your arms down. And then take your hand, one hand to the outer knee, prop up your spine behind you, and turn. Turn, turn, turn. Look out over your back shoulder. Inhale through center. Over to the other side. And inhale through the center, back to the other side. Feel your sit bones and your hips rooted down as you twist and unfurl your spine, looking out over your shoulder. And then back through center, over to the other side again. And through center. Okay, please come on up to your hands and knees. And then lift your knees up, lift your hips up for a downward facing dog. Stretch it up. Walk your dog. And now press both legs back, hips up. Stretch your inner thighs back, stretch your outer hips back. And bend your knees. Look between your hands and walk on up to the top of your mat. Press through your legs, inhale your arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch way up. Exhale your arms down. Inhale up again. Interlace your fingers and stretch them up to the sky. And then bend over to your right. Bend, bend, bend. Stretch straight up and bend the other way. And press your hips out. Stretch up. Exhale your arms down. And now cross one leg over the other And squeeze your inner thighs together and squeeze your hips together. And then reach up again. Interlace your fingers the opposite way, your non-dominant way, and stretch up again. Stretch way up. Now, squeeze your inner thighs together, squeeze your hips together, and bend again. Bend, bend, bend. And breathe. Inhale up. And stretch the other way. Stretch straight up. Exhale your arms down. And then unwrap yourself that way, only to wrap yourself up the other way. And we'll do the same thing. Really root through your legs, squeeze your inner thighs together, squeeze your hips together. Reach tall through, up to the top of your head, up to your arms. Interlace your fingers, palms up. Yes, it should feel so good. And then bend to the side again. I hope you're all finding some pleasures in staying home and slowing down. The sheltered home phase we're going through. And then bend the other way. Recreating ourselves. Finding new learning things about ourselves. Not so much external information. Exhale your arms down. More inward now. And then unwrap your legs. Okay. Take your feet a little bit further apart. And then we're going to do some big hip circles. Stretch your hips way out. You want to keep your legs straight here. And then go the other way. So I hope you're all keeping yourselves healthy, washing your hands. Personally, I've been gargling with grain alcohol and taking Clorox baths. It's a little hard on the skin, but I think it works. That's just a little humor in our yoga class. I've not been doing that. Okay. And then bring your feet back, hip width distance apart. Here's a really nice, really easy one that's great. Just come up onto one set of toes and then move your hips and your knee, your leg side to side. Actually, just your leg. So during our days, our leg usually moves in the same way. When we're walking or bicycling or sitting, it's just compressing this muscle here. So now we're lubricating the joints, getting the synovial fluid to move side to side, and also moving the knee in a different way. I really like this one. So easy. You can do this anytime. And let's do it on the other leg. Very simple, very effective. Keep your hips mobile and flexible. Good. I promised someone I would do standing hip stretches at the beginning, so that's what we're doing. Then we'll get to some other ones. So please bend both knees. We're going to go right into a balancing pose. Pick up one leg or come up on your toes, wrap it up. You can set your toes down here like mine are, and then squat, squeezing your hips together, squeezing your inner thighs together like we did standing. You can stay right here like this or pick the foot up, maybe wrap it again. Open your arms really wide. Sit a little lower. You can stay here like this or wrap the opposite arm is the leg that's over, under. Sit a little lower. Shoulders back, heart lifts. And then unwrap your arms, unwrap your leg. Eagle pose, Garudasana. Bend both knees. Stick your hips out. And then come up on the opposite leg toes. You can wrap that leg up. You can set your toes down as you practice picking it up to balance, or You can pick it up and balance, activate the toes. It makes it so much easier to balance. And then you can wrap the leg under if possible. Otherwise, don't. Reach your arms out. Open your heart, open your chest. And then the opposite arm under. Here, you're squeezing your inner thighs together. You're squeezing your hips together. Sink low. And then open up, and then unwrap your legs. Good, and now shake a leg. Shake a leg. So this is a good shoulder opener too, a nice big shoulder stretch. That's the beauty about yoga. When we activate one part of our body, it stretches another part, and vice versa. It's all wrapped up together. Bend your knees, stick your hips out. We'll do it again. Come up on your toes, wrap your leg once or twice. See if you can sort of square your hips towards me. Sit nice and low. You can stay right here or open your arms. And then wrap your arms up. Lift up your elbows, draw your shoulders back. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your hips together. If you want, you can round your back. And look down in front of you. And then slowly come up. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs. So practice makes progress. And never ever criticize yourself. Just be loving and accepting. And we're just learning more about our bodies, loving our bodies, loving our minds, connecting it all together. Wrap your arms. Squeeze your hips together. Squeeze your thighs. And if you'd like, you can round. Round, round, round. And then press through your legs. Come on up, unwrap yourself. And then reach up to the sky. Reach way up, stretch up, stretch. Bring your hands together. Slide them down in front of your heart. Now let's see how we go with this one. Stand with your feet parallel. Come up on your toes. Bend your knees and see how far you can come down. You can bring your hands in front of your heart. And you're resting your backs of your legs on your calves. Now, if this is tricky or you can't do it, that's fine. You can still live happily ever after. Good. Breathe here. And now we're just going to play a little extra. Root through your legs, engage your belly, and stretch. Stand back up. See if you can stay on your toes. See if you can stay on your toes. And then exhale, come back down. And now this pose works much better when you turn up the corners of your mouth. It's easier. You can set your hands down, set your heels down, and then slowly have a seat. Good. Okay, so come back to all fours again. Come back to all fours. Press your right leg straight back. Engage your belly. And now we're going to swing the right leg all the way around and set it down and look at your foot. And then come through center. Take it all the way to the other side. Bend and look at your foot. We'll do this a few times each way. And back over. Take a breath one way. And take another breath the other way. One more time. And then stretch your legs straight back, toes down, and set your feet down. Stretch your left leg way back. Yeah, like you're pushing something away from you. Engage your belly muscles, and then swing your leg all the way over to the side. Touch down, look at your foot. And then swing it all the way to the other side. Touch down, look at your foot. Take a breath, the other way. And a breath the other way. And the other. And the other way. And then stretch that leg straight back. And then set your knee down. Set the tops of your feet down. Walk back. And see if maybe you can sit on your heels. Now take your knees apart and walk your spine long. Child's pose, pranayama. If this doesn't feel comfortable, or there's issues in your knees or your hips, that's okay. Just lengthen like this. And just press your hips back as far as they comfortably go. Breathe, and we wait for our bodies to open little by little. And come back up to all fours and bring your knees back. Hip width distance. So while we're on our hands here, make sure you have your fingers spread really wide. You're pressing down to the pads of your fingers and your metatarsals right here. Good. So your weight's evenly distributed. And then tuck your toes again. Stretch your left leg straight back. Yeah. And then bend your knee. Lift your leg up. Lift it up, up, up. Maybe you can stretch your right arm long too. And then reach back. See if you can get a hold of your foot. If not, just enjoy the stretch. And then release. Stretch in both directions. And come on down. Take the right leg back. Yeah. And then bend your knee, lift your right leg up. Left arm long. And then reach back, get a hold of your foot. And then press your hand in your foot in your hand, lift your chest up, lift your heart up, lift your inner right thigh up. And then we'll come down. Let's do that one again. I like to do a lot of poses twice because you really can get into it the second time around. So stretch your left leg back, spread your toes, reach long, bend your leg, and then reach back. Stretch, and lift your inner left thigh up. And then reach out through your left foot, out through your right hand, and we'll set it down. Right leg back, left arm long, bend your leg, lift your leg up, and then reach back. And then stretch yourself really long again, and set your knee down. Okay, we'll do another puppy dog pose or child's pose. Lengthen your arms and tack your hips back as far as they comfortably go. Maybe all the way to your heels. And then let your heart melt. It's a time to be easy. Don't over effort, just let your heart melt. And then come back up. And tuck your toes. We'll come back up to a down dog. Lift up your hips, lift up your knees. Stretch your hips up and back. When we're all at home, it's a good time to remember to laugh, take care of yourself. Remember what's important. As we cultivate greater patience, greater understanding of ourselves, our body, our minds, our spirits, take your feet over to the edges of your mat and take your inner thighs up and back. Take your outer hips up and back. big deep breath. Hips up, heels down, thighs back. And set your knees back down. Okay. And now put your left foot forward and your hands on the outside of your left foot like this. And you want to have your back toes tucked for stability. Inhale, come on up. Then put your hands right here on your thigh, right close into your torso. And push your skin into the muscles, push the muscles into the bones. Take your belly back, take the sides of your throat back. And then shift all your body forward. Your legs forward. Your belly's still coming back, your throat's still coming back. Breathe. So here we get a nice hip flexor stretch. This is the one that's always contracted when we're sitting, contracted when we walk, contracted when we're bicycling, anything. So it feels real good to give this a nice stretch. Low lunge here. Anjaneyasana, actually, with our knee over our ankle. Come on back. And we'll change sides. Left knee back. Right foot forward. Tuck your toes. Good stability. Hands right here. Right by your hip crease. And you take your belly back a little bit. And then lean forward. And you take it just to the spot where you say, oh my God, that feels really good. That's it. That's yoga. Oh, that feels really good. Then you know you're doing good yoga. Never, ever, ever should be any pain. And come back. Hands down. Step your right leg back. And left foot forward. Okay. We'll do it again. And you can stay here with your hands rooting your thighs down, or you can reach your arms up as you lean forward. If you want, some people can lower your hands down, lift up to your spine, draw your shoulders back, shift your hips forward, and see if you can reach for your mat. It's Anjaneyasana. And then come on back. Depends on your body shape. A lot of yoga, the easier poses for you, it's probably because your body's set up for that. Ones that are challenging, your body might not be. So it's just interesting to observe and learn about ourselves. Change sides. We all have basically the same skeleton, but they can be arranged and very greatly different. Longer torsos, shorter torsos, longer arms, shorter arms. We want to keep it all happy and healthy. Shift your weight forward. Stay here or reach your arms up. Stay here or take your shoulders up, lift your heart up, you turn into a little bit of a back bend. See if you can reach your hands towards the earth. And then come on up, hands down, come back to all your hands and knees. Okay, here's a good pose. So you might want to come to the side of your mat in the middle, and then take your knees out. Keep your shins in line with your ankles. So your knees and your ankles are in line. And then you can come to your forearms. Take one leg out, a little more, take the other leg out. And just go as far as feels right for you. So we're opening your inner adductor muscles, little by little. And breathe. Remember, it's better to err on the side of caution rather than overstretching something. Just take it right to it feels good. We follow the Goldilocks principles. Goldilocks principle. Not too much, not too little. Once you're here, if you want, you can shift forward a little bit and back a little bit. Breath by breath. These are your inner adductor muscles that you're stretching here. They usually don't get too much attention in most of our lives. So we take it nice and easy, gentle. As we say, hi, inner adductor muscles, we like you. I like you, I need you, I appreciate you. And then come on up to your hands, and then one knee in, nice and easy, nice and easy. And then now tuck your toes and see if you can sit back on your heels here. Sit nice and tall. If you have a yoga block, it's quite handy to have yoga blocks. It's quite handy to have two, actually. You can always sit on a yoga block. I like that. So you still get a nice stretch on your quadricep muscles. And then we'll come on up. And then have a seat. So normally when we sit, we have our ankles crossed. That's Sukhasana, easy sitting pose. See if you can take it wider and cross your ankles for Siddhasana. Your ankles across your knees are wider than you probably normally do. And then lean over to one side, get your sit bones apart. Lean over to the other side, spin your inner thigh, outer sit bone apart. Yeah. And then hold on here, lengthen up, shoulders back. Now, keep your hips rooted back and lengthen out, straight out over. You'll notice your hips coming up. Tack them back as you breathe and lengthen. And then come on up again. Walk up. Pull your shoulders back. The ancient yogis would say that we hold emotions, stored emotions in our hips area. So you might feel a little extra good, but it's freeing it all up. Turn out over. One leg, one knee. Twist. And then pay attention to the opposite hip as you lengthen. Same thing, stretch out over that knee. And you'll feel this hip coming up as you stretch the opposite leg. So it's like a seesaw. When you stretch this way, this one wants to come up. When you press it back, that comes up. And slowly come on up. Twist out over the other leg. Turn, and then lengthen. Come on up. Good. And then you can bring your legs up. You can keep one leg bent, pick up the other one. Hold on to your foot. And by holding on to your foot, you can lengthen up through your spine, draw your lower back in and up. And now you're going to take your knee under your armpit. Just press your knee back. So try not to go out like that. Try to keep your knee in close to your torso for a deeper hip stretch. And now let's do baby cradle or forklift cradle. So Being from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is the Forklift Cradle. Lots of construction workers there that I knew. So Forklift Cradle, these toes are spread. Or if you want to do baby cradle, you put your heel in the crook of your elbow and you can wrap it up like this. Either way is fantastic because it's the same actions. Big outer hip stretch here. And then you can move it side to side. Should feel extra, extra good here. And if for some reason you're saying, oh, Patricia, I really don't feel anything, you're saying that to yourself, lift your shin up and or bring your shin closer. And you get a deeper stretch. Excellent. Oh, it feels so good to stretch out those hip and hamstring muscles. Okay, hold on to your foot again, just like before. And draw your shoulders back. And you're really pressing your hand in your foot into your hand. Now we'll go towards a pose called Crunchasana. So slowly you can start taking your leg towards straight. Squeeze your kneecap towards straight or straight, depending upon your hamstrings, how open they are, how much you've been hiking, how much you've been stretching. Squeeze your kneecap as you give yourself a big hamstring stretch here. Beautiful. And then lower that leg. And then you can just bring that leg nice and casual like. Get your hips apart. Pick up that other foot. And it's a dynamic action. You're pressing your hands in your foot in your hands, your shoulders back, your heart's up, lifting. And then pulse your knee back under your armpit. Little by little. There was a show called Romper Room. I don't know if any of you know that, but it was a kids show, and they always used to begin by saying, I see Hillary, I see Dana, I see Ann. Used to say all these people that she saw on Romper Room. So it was so fun. And she didn't obviously see them. She was just saying she saw them. But it was a friendly. I'd always wait and see if she said my name. Okay. Forklift or baby cradle. Yogi's choice. Side to side. And you get to stretch it as much as feels right for you. You can lift your shin up and draw it in a little more if you'd like. Good job. And then back, hands on your foot. Draw your lower back in and up, lengthen shoulders back. And then take your leg towards straight or straight. Big stretch. I remember when I first started doing yoga, I saw the teacher was instructing this pose. I could not do this pose at all. And I thought, how in the heck do you do that? I cut a picture from the yoga journal out of somebody doing it, and I put it in my closet and said, I'm going to do that pose. I'm going to do that pose. And then slowly lower. Okay. Take your legs out in front. Shake a leg. Shake a leg. Okay. So we're going to lie down and do some things before we sit back up again. So go ahead. Spin around on your mat. Lie on down. And just feel the four corners of your body rooted down. Your shoulders are anchoring down. Your heart lifts up. Feel your hips where they are, down on the earth. And then bring your hands up like in all that jazz. Elbows nice and close to your torso. Lift your heart up. And now bottoms up. Sunday morning, bottoms up. Lift your hips up. Again, this is a nice hip flexor stretch. Yeah. And perhaps you can pick up one shoulder and roll it under. Pick up the other and roll it under. Maybe you can clasp your hands behind your back. Press your hips up, up, up. You want to make sure you can breathe here. So don't lift up or cut off your breath. I like it when you're breathing. I much prefer it. And if your hands are clasped, unclasp them and lower your hips down. Bring your hands back to your hip crease and push your thighs away and take your lower back down to the mat. And then we're going to do that pose again, bridge pose, Settubandha. This is a nice place to begin if you're here. Everybody's different, just like this. Anchoring your elbows down, shoulders down, and then bottoms up. Press your feet down. If you want, roll your shoulders under again and clasp your hands. And then another option here is to come up on your tippy toes. You walk your feet back a little bit closer toward your shoulders and lift your hips up even higher. Maybe curl your shoulders back together and toward your heels a little closer. Shoulders a little closer to your heels. And if you're up on your toes, please walk your toes out, feet out, and then unclasp your hands and lower your hips down. The reason I have you walk your feet out is so you're not over crunching your back because you brought your heels closer. That might be too much to come down like that. So, good. Keep your left leg rooted down. Take your right leg straight up to the sky. And then hold on to the belly of your hamstring. And then press your right thigh away from your chest. This is giving you length in your back, your lower back. And then you can do some ankle circles here. You're pressing your right thigh away, stretch up through your right heel. And then we'll set it down. Press your right foot down in. Pick up your left leg, stretch your left heel up. Hold on to the belly of your hamstrings. And then you're pressing your hands into your hamstrings and your hamstrings back into your hands. You can even give a little tug down. So pull your hands down a little bit so your hamstrings get a little encouragement to reattach there, although they're already attached, just a little reassurance. Ankle circles. And the other way. Good. And then we'll set that foot down. We'll do that pose again after we do another bridge pose. We're going to do another variation for Settubandha. Okay, back to this. Shoulders down. And then hips up again. Okay. And then whatever variation you're taking, please take it. And then heel toe your feet closer together. Anchor through your feet. Lift your hips up. Nice stretch for your hip flexors. Press through your left foot, especially pick your right leg up, right knee into your chest, and then press your right foot up. And then you'll notice your hips sink. Reach your hips way back up again. Yeah. Hips up. Foot up. And breathe. And maybe here you can turn up the corners of your mouth again. And we'll change sides. Set that foot down right by the other one. Left knee into your chest, and then left heel up, and then re-engage your hips up to the ceiling. And we'll set that foot down. Unclasp your hands and set your hips down. Ah, that feels so good. Okay. Hands right on your hip crease again. Push your thighs away. Take your lower back down to the mat and stretch your spine. Give your back traction. And release. To give that back nice traction, you only need to hold it just for a breath or so. Okay, so pick your right leg up and hold on to the belly or hamstring again. So the belly, you want to hold on, not way up here by your knee and not way down here, but right in between the belly or hamstring. That's where it should feel the best. Okay, and then stretch your heel up. Tack your right thigh away from your torso. Now here, last time we had our knee bent. This time, you can slide your left leg straight. Tack your left thigh down. So your thighs are going in the same direction, away. Right thigh away, left thigh away and down. And then point your foot and flex your foot. That's called pointing plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Feel, when you do the plantar flexion, you feel the front of your shin getting more of a stretch. And then when you flex, you feel the back of your leg. One more time, point and flex. And then we'll set that leg down. Pick up the other leg. Interlace your fingers, belly of the hamstring. And then you can keep that other leg, the bent legs, bent with it anchoring down, or stretch it long and tap the right thigh down. And you're tacking your right thigh away from your chest, left thigh away from your chest, right thigh down. And point. Flex. And point. Flex. And point. And flex. And point one more time. And then set that foot down. And then bend both knees. Hold onto your shins. And roll up. And then roll back. And then roll up and back. Just give your back and lower back a nice massage. Maybe a little on the left side of your spine, a little on the right side of your spine. You might get a little chiropractic adjustment. And now, hold on to your shins again. You can take your legs a little bit apart, and you're going to roll on your lower back, on your sacrum area. So roll way out so you even get your outer hip. We'll go one direction and then the other. Giving your lower back massage. And the other way when you're ready. If you found any ways, any extra little silver linings or joys about staying at home, share them in the chat. Share them in the comment section. Love to hear from you. Okay, squeeze in again, and then rock yourself up to seated. Now we're going to go towards a pose called Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. We'll see how this goes. This pose I have a love-hate relationship with, but sometimes people have big outer hip rotation and they can do it easy. So bring one shin parallel with the side of your mat or the front of your mat, depending on what way you're sitting. So bring one shin parallel. Pick up the other shin, the other leg. Stack that shin on top. Now you'll see, if you have a look here at mine, it's up. But if I lean over here and spin this all back, and then it comes down a little bit more. Yeah, these manual adjustments we do in the yoga is so helpful. So fire log pose, this is one log, this is two logs. Put your hands on your feet. Your feet should be like they're on a block. They should be flat. So your ankles aren't spinning, sickling. Fire log pose, you might smell smoke coming up from your hips. So you can stay upright here and breathe into this pose as your outer hips, your inner, wherever you're feeling it's relaxing and opening little by little. Stay right here, or you can lengthen and hinge out over your hips to take it deeper. Good, come on up. And then take the top log off. You can shake your legs out. Our bodies do open, it's quite amazing. You just do the yoga, not looking for results too much, just looking for the enjoyment of it, the pleasure of it. And sometimes you go, wow, my body's really opening, more flexible, stronger. So left shin parallel with the front of your mat or the side. Pick up the other one and place your ankle on top of the other knee. And then again, I'm going to do that manual adjustment. I'm going to get a hold of my inner thigh and my sit bone and my upholstery. It's been in, back, and apart, so it comes open a little more. I really feel this pose. Maybe you do too. Stay upright or exhale and hinge long. And inhale, come on up, and let's unstack ourselves. Wiggle it out. We'll do it again. Bring the other shin parallel, sit bones apart. Stack that knee, ankle over your knee. And your feet should be flat. You can put your hands on them, push your hands into your feet, lengthen. Stay upright or hinge at your hips as you stretch your torso out over your fire log pose. People love hip opener classes. You can really access a lot of muscles here in the hips, big strong muscles, and they respond very well to stretching and strengthening. Come on up. And the fourth side of this pose, last time. Make it good. Left ankle over your right knee. Hopefully you'll feel a greater mobility in the rest of your day and maybe even tomorrow too. You say, oh, I'm moving with greater ease. And then come on up. Good. Uncross your legs. Take those legs straight. Okay, now we're going to turn our hip in. So our hips, usually when we're walking, they just lift. When we're sitting, they're lifting. And so we've turned them out, we've turned them back, we've stretched out the front. Now we're going to give it an inner rotation. So here's how we're going to do it. You're going to sit on your heels or on a block. I hope you have a block or a heels. Or you can make any modification that seems appropriate. Hopefully you have a block. I can put the link in, or if you go to my website, there's a link for the blocks there, or email me. So sit up nice and tall, and you have an inner rotation here. So take your sit bones apart. Yeah. And then you can start leaning back. So this is the inner hip rotation and a thigh stretch, hip stretch. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Sit on the block with the block wide so you get your sit bones down. Or you can sit in between your feet if that's possible. And then you can lean back if that's possible. Pressing the tops of your feet down. Maybe you can come to your forearms. Press the tops of your feet down. Scoop your tailbone down towards your knees. Some of you may be able to lay all the way down. Supta Virasana, stretch out. It all depends on how open your quadricep muscles are. A lot of us have really tight quadricep muscles. Somehow I was born with more loose ones. We all have muscles that are looser and all have muscles that are tighter, and yoga brings a balance. Brings the tight ones more flexibility and the loose ones more strength. And wherever you are, lead with your heart to come up. And please take a downward facing dog. Down dog, stretch it up. Hips up and back. Now, do this. Bend your knees about 2 inches. Spin your inner thighs apart with the power of your legs. You can arch your lower back. Yeah. Take your hips apart with the power of your legs, the power of your intention. So you're arching your lower back, your knees are bent, and your sit bones are apart. Good. Now, keep that action and press your thighs back, hips up. Oh, yeah. Stretch your heels down. Big, deep breaths. And set your knees down on your next exhale. And then roll over and lay down. Lay down. With your knees bent. So take your feet over to the edges of your mat, please. And you can bring your arms out like in a cactus pose or stretch them straight out. Keep your feet at the edge of your mat and let your knees fall over to your left. Look out over your right shoulder. Energetically, you're taking your right hip away from your right shoulder. On your next inhale, bring your knees up. And exhale them the opposite way. And look out over your left shoulder. Inhale your knees up. Bring your feet back to the edge of your mat if they stray. Exhale your knees back. Stretch your right shoulder the opposite way. This is called windshield wiper pose. In California, we're getting some rain here this weekend, so it's a good pose. Optionally, pick up your bottom foot, which is your left foot, and you can place it on top of your right knee to give you an extra juicy stretch. Unhook your foot and inhale your knees up. Exhale in the opposite way. Stretch out through your left shoulder. And you can pick up your right foot, place it on top of your left knee. And you press it down so you get a nice bigger hip stretch, lateral stretch. And then inhale your knees up. Okay. Unless you need to do any final adjustments, if your body's calling for anything, do so. Or let your legs fall open. Let your legs completely relax, fall open. And even here, get your sit bones apart. Get your glute muscles out. So you're setting it up. And then shoulders down, heart lifts for Shavasana. If you want, you can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, or you can leave your palms up alongside your torso and adjust your receiving the benefits of your pose, of your practice. Rest your awareness in the flow of your breath. And bend one leg, set your foot down, and the other. And slowly roll to your right side. Rest your head in your forearms. And then use your arms to lift yourself up to seated. To keep a nice calm feeling, so to drag your legs into place. In honor of yourself, making time for your self-love, self-care, paying attention to what's important in your life. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a big inhale. Slow exhale. And from the love in my heart to the love in your hearts, namaste.